No, or Lina.
Okay.
And that's going to be Fabi.
The one thing I'm a little bit afraid of in MVP Phoenix's lineup is you don't really have the best reliable stuns. A lot of your engagements are kind of based on the fact that if you hit the static storm and you get a good tombstone off and things like that, your fights go well. But for me personally, the hero to watch this game, if I'm you two, is the Spirit Breaker, because from a Queen of Pain player / Storm Spirit player, everybody knows that I play those two heroes. Spirit Breaker is the most annoying hero to play against in the pool, because a Storm, you can't pull him as he comes in. You can't zip away from him because he'll just continue to charge at you at max speed.
Right.
So you can't do that zip TP thing away. You kind of have to play really actively around the map. And if you want to play Storm as a split pusher, you just get destroyed by Spirit Breakers.
He's also the hardest hero in the game to pick off early. So you can't really dive into the back line and try to pick up their Spirit Breaker. That's not really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, similar logic to the Queen of Pain, like you were mentioning. You can't disjoint the stun with the blink or anything like that. So we'll see what the Space Cow can do here.
All right, guys. With that, we're going to leave it to our casters. They will be Shiver and Zyori. Take it away, guys.
Whew. The Dream Team.
The Dream Team.
All right, so what do we have here? Possibly an early skirmish. MVP Phoenix moving into enemy territory. Ninja Boogie in a very good position here, tucked inside of the trees. Oh, he sets it up on KP. This should be a first blood. Splitter connects on two. Jo doing a lot of damage with the Blade Fury. Marshall come cruising in. That big, tanky Undying in the front lines, putting some damage on the Ninja Boogie. Now Jo gets turned around on, but stun after stun. They'll make the space for him to get out, but no! Chrissy path blocks him to try to find the kills. QO now getting charged from across the map. It's a bloodbath to get things started, and it's MVP Phoenix coming out big. Rave getting cleaned up here as now Ryo gets caught by a stun on the retreat. A 4-for-1 trade early on. It was the first blood going the way of Rave, but oh my, a triple kill comes out for the Lina.
Yeah, I was about to say, after that first blood, I'm really happy that the support gets a first blood if that's the case this early on fighting. I mean, it means that you get to some early on wards, you have an easier time on lane, you can just be doing a lot more as a support, but that Lina stun in the midst of that fight, that just made it all happen, and Febby definitely on point with that. And well, 4-for-1, that's not the way that you want to start a potential game that could cost you your winners bracket in the next round.
Absolutely. Chrissy trying to stay aggressive here. If he hit that stun on QO, that could have been a kill. QO actually playing very risky there as he fares out of salve on the courier. Wow, what a start for MVP Phoenix. So, all right, how will these lanes settle down? Looks like aggro tri-lane from the Dire side with a safe lane Quap, and that puts Undying, Lina, and Disruptor in the off lane.
Yeah, we have a Juggernaut. I mean, I think you can still farm decently. I mean, a Vengeful Spirit and a Witch Doctor protecting you actually should allow you to still come in close and get those last hits going. I think the main key for this game, or for this aggressive tri-lane, is to not get baited into action, because the moment that Rave actually gets baited into action, Tombstone will go up, and you can't really run from MVP Phoenix at this point. I mean, you're going to get either glimpsed, or there's going to be kinetic field, they're going to get stunned, and Febby overall, and Lina is a very fast hero, so you can't really run, so you have to just make sure that the lane stays pushed out towards your tower, and already a rotation coming in, by the way, for mid for the Vengeful Spirit.
Yep, we'll protect Chrissy in the mid lane here, maybe put some pressure onto QO, but I feel like the safe lane for Rave, it's a good place to have a Juggernaut. At least gives him a get-out-of-jail-free card against the Lina stuns and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what Jo can do. So far, only 2 last hits compared to the 4 of the Lina, so both of them kind of farming below par.
Yeah, Vengeful Spirit still looking for a good positioning. I think it's a good target to go for Febby here, for QO rather. They have got a stun to follow it up with as well, so they have got this double disable, and even though QO has a bottle, I think he only has like 1 charge left or something. There you go. So I think that it should be possible to be a kill, but it's going to be really tricky, and it's going to take a lot of patience also from that Venge to actually wait until the right opportunity occurs, because if he's just a bit too impatient, that's not going to be turning into a kill, which, well, with QO going for the rune, that's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah, now looking at the top lane, Queen of Pain in the safe lane means she'll be able to get a lot of farm. We've seen a lot of Aghanims first when Quap is in this kind of a role. She'll be quiet for the first 10 minutes or so, then start moving around with the upgraded ultimate. But in a 1v1 matchup, Spirit Breaker is having a pretty good time here. Quap can't completely zone him out by herself, getting good experience, and actually good CS as well. So Spirit Breaker should find Nether Strike in a pretty timely manner, and one of those offlaners that can really wreak havoc and take over the game if he gets that kind of opening early on.
Yeah, I think this lane is actually really good for the Spirit Breaker. I mean, he's not going to win it, right? There's just no way that he will win the lane, but he should be able to get levels, and that's basically all he needs at the start.
Yeah, exactly.
With now Ninja Boogie also waiting around the corner, I don't think they can get a kill on the Queen of Pain. It's very optimistic thinking, and I just said that the Spirit Breaker needs levels. Well, for now, if that Vengeful Spirit is going to try to take some experience on this lane. It's not going to be really good for Ryo. At the same time, if Queen of Pain goes really aggressive and blinks forward, that is a potential kill. But they have to wait for Queen of Pain to get aggressive because they can't get aggressive before that. Otherwise, Squab will just blink away.
Yeah, exactly. Ryo maybe trying to bait something out here. Very ambitious, as you pointed out. Ninja Boogie will just give up. He puts a ward down before he leaves, though. Oh, never mind. It's been down for a while. So still good vision here for the Radiant. He'll head mid, maybe looking for a potential courier snipe. Misses the timing just a little bit. It's already past 3 minutes anyhow, so he'll just linger in the mid lane. It's already been upgraded. Not really sure what the plan is for Ninja Boogie here.
He is sacrificing a lot of experience and achieving absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he's only level 1, and the other opportunity cost is it's a 2v3 in the safe lane. So that means the Juggernaut doesn't have the support he really needs to find some farm, and you can see how aggressive MVP Phoenix are being, giving Febby as much solo XP as possible.
Yeah, and also making sure like they know that the Vengeful Spirit is missing from the lane, so they're looking for a way to go. They're probably going to go at the moment that these creeps are dead because a new creep wave comes in, and this is the perfect opportunity for them to dive, put down a tombstone. Jo knows what's happening though, and he'll try to run. Is there going to be a glimpse? He does not have a glimpse. He does actually have a glimpse.
Yep.
But not going to try. They're just going to try and push the tower down instead.
1-1-1 opener. Juggernaut only 7 last hits relative to the 22-3 of Lina. So this has been a pretty successful aggro tri-lane thus far. Is Ninja Boogie stacking in the jungle? I'm still trying to make sense of these rotations.
No, he's just coming back after being in the mid
no
lane.
stacks. Okay.
And if this tower goes down, I actually wouldn't mind that for Rave. It just means that the aggressive trial of MVP will probably cease to exist if you make sure. Oh, wait a second, they're gonna go for the Blade Fury as well. There is a Light Strike array though. It's not enough to save off the Disruptor there. Nuts will be able to get killed, and Ryo charging up, teleported in, goes for Febby, but realizes that it's wishful thinking, so he backs off.
Yeah, March will just TP home, and well, they get the Disruptor. That's something. Their tower will stay standing for now, but it's pretty darn low. Ryo already, oh, just out of deny range there.
I really think that if the tower dies, it would not be bad for Rave, because that will create up so much space, because MVP will not try to, or at least I'm assuming they won't try to go for an aggressive tri-lane that sticks at the tier 2 tower. If they can pull the lane back that far, that will actually create a lot of space for Jo to farm.
Yeah, that's a really good point. With the Quab in the safe lane, I don't think they'll want to rotate Lina up there. She's getting a lot of space and plenty of farm, still has a little while to come online, but you don't really want to interrupt that if she has this kind of an early start. So Juggernaut will get the deny on the tower. Minor victory there for Rave. And we'll see how this affects the lane setup. Maybe it could open up for MVP Phoenix to start moving around and put some pressure on the other lanes. Lina should be close to 6, but until she has that Laguna Blade, ganking is a little bit risky.
Yeah, for Q on the Storm, I mean, so far he's been doing quite nice. He's not losing his lane. He's actually doing pretty okay, getting last hits, and that's basically all you can ask from Storm. He's now level 6 though, so I'm expecting him to try or to get help soon and try to do something on the Leshrac to get maybe a support or two rotating in to take on Chrissy here, because you don't want to have a Leshrac have a decent lane. You don't want to let him just do whatever he wants. And so killing him off while QO is level 6 is actually a decent possibility here. They can go in with help of the Disruptor. I think they would need one more though.
Yeah, certainly very momentum-based hero, and there we go. QO zips forward, but Pulse Nova gets turned on straight away. QO almost gets turned around on the Lightning, hits him. One more auto attack ought to do it, but just barely disjoints it. A close call, but no death comes out on either side. Oh my, oh me. QO living on life on the edge.
Yeah, make well, good use for Cast for being around there on his Witch Doctor, because he kind of knew what was happening as well. He knew that was the right time to go on that Leshrac.
It's easy to underestimate the damage output from Lesh when he's at these low levels. Yeah. Pulse Nova is incredible. KP.
Queen of Pain.
Ooh, nice setup there. Ninja Boogie finally finds some success off these rotations. Looks like Bash making it possible. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Undying gets picked off by the Leshrac Witch Doctor combo. QO looking for some vengeance for his fallen comrade, zipping all around, but now low on mana. The sustainability from the Voodoo Restoration keeping Chrissy pretty healthy. Splitter will be off the mark, and Nuts will not connect there with the kinetic field. So ends up being a 2-for-0 across the map, with Rave, of course, finding the advantage.
Yeah, Chrissy also didn't have a lot of mana there to go on, but he's just tanky enough, especially with the Witch Doctor there behind him, QO. I don't know what he was thinking, probably thinking that he could actually take that kill, but no revenge to be had there, as Jo actually seems to be going into the jungle a little bit more here to try and get some farm, because his lane is constantly pushed out towards the tower of MVP Phoenix.
Yeah. This Lesh continuing to be a big threat here. Chrissy will go probably right into the Bloodstone, picks up the point boost. Nothing surprising about this build, but very well-rounded. QO gets hit by the Paralyzing Cast, completely out of mana here, has a couple of stick charges. They won't pursue. Chrissy also rather
there's
low
a
on mana.
regen rune on bot lane though. If he gets told by
Instantly
and
turns. Yeah.
it is worth turning around for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Bounty rune goes the way of the Lesh, and looks like this one will get picked up by Storm.
That is such an important rune, and I actually think he can either pop it straight away if he wants to. Yeah. And then just try to go aggressive straight away as well. Oh, he's gonna walk right into the hands of the Venge as well as the Juggernaut. Thinking about backing off. He is level 5 still. Doesn't have an Omni Slash.
Oh, loses his regen rune. Blade Fury, one of those few abilities that'll just cut right through it. Now Kyo very low on mana. Yeah, exactly right. He gets stunned up by Ninja Boogie. Jo starting to land the auto attacks. Chrissy's on his way over. Split Earth will interrupt this TP. Nice sidestep, but will it be enough to stay alive? Certainly not. Febby comes in with some good damage.
Okay.
Laguna Blade finishes off Jug. 1 for 1, core for core. Fairly even trade there, but the big breadwinner is that Leshrac, still number 1 on net worth.
And I definitely think that trade was also favorable for Rave just overall, because at this point Storm has just a way bigger threat in the map than the Juggernaut has. Juggernaut's actually like even lower in farm than the Spirit Breaker, which is actually kind of sad. But I think that Chrissy, he's not been shut down. As you said, he's highest net worth on the map. I think he should be able to create enough space so that Juggernaut can still get his farm. And Juggernaut, I mean, he needs levels most of all, I think. I think when he gets level 6, he's already kind of useful. But he can easily catch up, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And as you mentioned, stacks, things like that can make his life a little bit easier. Lesh is the one that really needs that early momentum. The faster you get the Bloodstone, the faster you can accelerate your farm. One of few heroes that can just turn mana into raw damage, and the more regen you have means, well, the more damage you can do to those neutrals and heroes as well. Lina getting that kill does help out MVP Phoenix a little bit. She had a pretty good start and comfortable as number 2 on net worth. Outside of the Lesh, though, Rave are struggling to farm. You see that Queen of Pain has really gotten a lot out of the safe lane, and still not sure what build she'll go for, if it's the Orchid or the Aghanim Scepter.
Oh, finds Crazy is getting charged though. I don't know, they're gonna... No, I was gonna say, they shouldn't have gone up on there. Chrissy went invisible, might try to go in from behind. There's another strike. Kyo, glimpse back up onto Ryer. See if he can get some bashes out. He's completely surrounded. There are 5 people there to take him down.
Yeah, big rotation for MVP Phoenix, and Rave will minimize their losses. Without a glimpse, that's a completely different setup, but as our analyst talked about in the draft, that's exactly how you want to play the Disruptor. Get nice and aggressive and force them to be on the back foot. Now Febby takes a Lightning Storm in the mid lane. The stun will be off the mark on both sides, LSA and Split Earth, and they'll both walk away.
Yeah, it's kind of actually funny to see both Lina and Leshrac having that
very
sort of
comparable
pass point.
skill shots.
Yes. Although so far I have to say it's Chrissy that's not been on the mark as many times as Febby.
Interesting build from Jo here, going for a Blade Fury primary, no point in the crit, and does he have anything in stats? Looks like he's got a couple here, 2 points or so. 3 points actually. Yeah, not pulling any of them, and now goes for the Ring of Aquila. So we'll probably just transition into a more standard build, your Mask of Madness, Yasha, probably into a Manta style. I can't remember the last time I saw an Aghanim's Juggernaut. I doubt we'll see it here. Queen of Pain, though, will go for that Aghanim's.
Yeah, I would definitely hope so as well. Queen of Pain, we haven't seen, like, she just rotated. That was her first rotation towards the top room where the skirmish just happened.
Smoke in the mid. Oh, the Paralyzing Cask bouncing around, setting up something, but KP's on his way in. And ready to do big damage, holding on to the Sonic Wave for now. Cass trying to TP out. Sonic Wave will finish him off, and this Vengeful Spirit will fall to a Dragon Slave. Nice 2-0. Only support's going down, but good reaction from MVP Phoenix.
Definitely. I think the Vengeful Spirit got glimpsed back when trying to teleport out, unfortunately for her. But yeah, the rotation is there. This is exactly as Blitz said would happen at some point in MVP. They like 5-manning, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're just going to probably 5-man take out all the tier 1 towers if they have the chance. And they don't really have a very solid Roshan lineup, so I think it's just fighting a lot all the way if they can make sure that they can get kills every time they try.
Looks like Quap should be on her way to a decently timed Aghanims here. Just the point booster for now, but she'll grab this next regen rune. I feel like this Spirit Breaker needs to be a little more active around the map. He spent just a little bit too much time hanging out in the lane. Only 1, 2, and 0. And this is the stage where he's not quite peaking, but quite powerful on his curve. And I feel like they need him to set up kills around the map. But now that Febby's picked up that Yule's Scepter, charging the Lina becomes a little more difficult.
He goes for another strike, or at least he's thinking about it to go up on the top lane, but Q already zips away.
Yep. Not the easiest target to lock down.
Jo. Just in time, had a 4-man gank squad on his tail. Cast should also be able to back off, but with the teleporting coming from Avenge, that might be a very scary one, but maybe he's in time to save up Chrissy. Chrissy lights right away. There's no way he's going to make it out of this alive, or is there? No way, indeed.
Not at all, but the rest of Rave still nearby. A lot of sustainability with that Voodoo Restoration. MVP sort of on the back foot, but I think they can reinitiate this. An Omni Slash to the face will finish off the Disruptor. But there's still a lot of MVP heroes here. No Sonic Wave, but QO getting charged from afar. Zips forward. Stun out onto Febby. Oh my, the damage is just too much though. The supports just get melted. Jo uses a Blade Fury, doing good damage here. Ryo channels the ultimate, finishes off the Storm Spirit, but now the Jug will fall, and Ryo will have to pay with his life. Laguna Blade to the face. It's a full 5-man wipe as all members of Rave end up dead.
I think Ryo came in way too late in that fight. It felt like he just didn't know how serious that engagement was going to be, and he just farmed away. He was a little bit greedy there, perhaps. I'm not sure how much of a change it would have been. Maybe Rave should have backed off earlier and more, like, actually more convincing, because they could have maybe backed out at least one of their supports as well. But it was a bit of a weird engagement to take, but as said, MVP Phoenix, they just like to fight, and it shows that they never back off, and it pays off.
Yeah, MVP executing their strategy really well. I feel like utilizing the setup from the Lina and the Disruptor really to a T there. That's how you want to do it. And when you have a Static Storm to follow up the Yules, you don't even have to worry about connecting on the LSA. There's just not a hell of a lot that the Lesh could have done there.
Yeah, and on the bright side, for Rave, they still have their tier 1 tower mid. It's still standing, and that makes sure that they still have some extra control. I think MVP, instead of fighting, could have gone for the tower if they were really objective-based, but they just want kills, and in this case, Rave, well, it's not that bad to still have that tower standing over there.
Yeah, certainly not, as Lesh starts to close in towards the Bloodstone, just a recipe away, and that will be a big item for them. And as we talked about, for the Lesh to find some farm, Jo, yep, gets the Morbid Mask there. Just farming up the recipe for the Mask of Madness. We'll see a little fight break out in the Radiant Jungle. Febby going in deep, but gets stunned. A charge from Ryo. Febby will not survive to tell the tale as Nether Strike brings him down. That's the end of a dominating streak, and a pretty penny going to the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, very important kill, and I think that should be the start of many more. That Spirit Breaker, as you already mentioned, might not have had enough impact at the early start of the game, but now should be really the time where he should be trying to create some more space, because Jo is actually starting to get online. He is level 9 right now. I think like maybe it's, or level 10 he just got. Maybe level 11 is the time where he's actually going to be more involved, but for now he's just trying to farm up as much as he can. And with the level 11 on the map as well, it should be creating more of a threat perhaps for MVP Phoenix to be maybe a bit less aggressive, and therefore also having more space created for Rave.
Yeah, the Aghanim Scepter timing for the Queen of Pain, not as fast as it could be, but still will have an impact, no doubt.
Ooh, another charge happening.
Going up top, it looks like, towards the Storm, and QO will just TP home. Yeah, that one will get cancelled.
Smart thinking. I think for Rave, actually, the thing that's mostly holding them back, perhaps, is the Vengeful Spirit and the Witch Doctor being so under-leveled, because, of course, Vengeful Spirit had that... what was it? Just roam around level 1, not getting anything done?
I'm not sure what you call that. That was just traversing the map and then back again.
Yep.
The Hobbit's Tale, I suppose.
Just the scenic route.
Yeah, it's worked out okay. I mean, they both found level 6, and that's the key part. Those are two supports that get a lot more dynamic when they hit that point. MVP Phoenix just unrelenting.
Jo, careful there. He's not that high on health. I think they
want the Lesh. Febby gets the Yules. It's going to be another easy setup. Static Storm should be there. Comes out a little bit late, but they've got a Sonic Wave. Connects on 2. Lesh dies before he can do anything at all. Now they jump on to Cast. He's got the Voodoo Restoration on, but it doesn't seem to be making much of a difference. That Flesh Golem just punching him down. Ryo with a charge across. Decent stop, but Ninja Boogie will get dropped right away as well. Rave running out of resources here. Laguna Blade onto Ryo. He'll fall. It's just Jo that's left alive. The Lesh is respawn and ready to fight, but this is still a bit rocky. Spirit Breaker will get credit for a kill onto the Lina. Can they actually finish off Jo here? Now that Chrissy's back, he'll get glimpsed. And looks like MVP Phoenix will just sound the retreat. A 2-for-4 trade overall. Still pretty damn good. Lesh responding quickly there just because of the Bloodstone charges. No buyback.
I think actually, considering the fight that we had earlier in the same area actually as well, I think it shows that Rave is starting to catch up, because they were able to fight back stronger than they were the fight before, and again, still MVP Phoenix not taking any towers there. The tower is still standing. They don't take any more map control, so even though they win the fight, they don't actually get the aftermath. It's actually Chrissy that's able to get some push out of it in the end in the mid lane.
Yeah, Chrissy is the big problem right now. You can tell how much they're prioritizing the Lesh rack. Both those fights started with Yules and the Static Storm. That one a little more sloppy from MVP, but really the same ends with Chrissy going down before contributing anything to the fight. And I think it's the right call. The Lesh is still that leading farmer, and even though the Quap is closing the gap, this is where Lesh can have such a huge impact on the game. And if you let him take over and you don't keep him down, that's when things get really scary.
So what is the way that Leshrac can get out? Should he get because he's always going to be the one that they initiate on. He's always going to be the one that they use the Light Strike Ray and then try to nuke down with all the ultimates and burst damage that they have. So how is he going to try to survive that? Is he going to try to, or is his support going to try to get a Glimmer Cape, maybe helping him out that way?
I think,
or perhaps his own Yules?
I think Glimmer Cape could be a good option here. The BKB is what comes to mind first, but you've still got Sonic Wave. Lena will inevitably get an Aghanim Scepter. She's already on her way, so Laguna Blade will cut right through that. They can still burst him down through the BKB, and that makes me a little nervous about that pickup. Octarine Core comes to mind, but that's still a long ways off. Not really an item you can count on right after your Bloodstone. He will at least get started, though, with a Cloak, and we'll see if he upgrades it to the Glimmer Cape, but even just the casual Cloak, I think, will make a difference. Uh-oh, speak of the devil here, Shiva. Chrissy set up on again, but the swap out for Ninja Boogie this time. This could go completely the opposite way. The cast bouncing around like crazy. They've lost their bench, but Undying's gone down as well. Laguna onto Chrissy. He'll be able to survive through it. Does big damage with the Pulse Nova. It's a 2 for 3 now as QO on the run will zip back to safety, and Quap barely lives on just a sliver of HP. As you mentioned before, Rave showing that they've got some momentum here and can take control of these fights. Oh, they'll bump right into the Quap. Do they have the lockdown to get her? The Cask will not find any bounces. Negative earn won't be enough to bring her down, and the Queen of Pain will live.
Indeed, and that was the swap. I mean, who needs a Glimmer Cape if you have a swap like that? That was perfect. Still, the Shrek died. It was still a lot of damage coming out on him, of course. But they were...
See the replay here.
Yeah, there we go. The swap comes out instantly. Still, Lesh is already on half health. He will still get Glims back and then still nuke down in the end.
Still ends up getting off a lot of damage, though. He takes the Laguna. That's the big bout of burst damage, but you see these pulses getting everybody low and almost sets up on the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, with the Lesh dying, of course, helping his teammates out as well.
I wonder if this could be a decent Lincoln's game for the Lesh, but I kind of want to support to pick it up. I'm not sure. We just barely saw it swap on the Disruptor. I think Nuts is going down here.
It definitely is. Although now, of course, it is VP Phoenix that knows that Roshan is a threat here.
The jig is up.
Yep, and I wonder if they're going to try, because they don't have any wards up, do they? The Dire does not have any wards up there, only a sentry there. So I think they're going to try to protect it a bit more now that they know that Rave is actually planning on going there.
Now, the Spirit Breaker has put all of this early farm to pretty good use. He went for an early BKB pickup, and early in the context of what Spirit Breaker is usually able to achieve. And we just talked about how BKB can be a weak item in this game against all of that pure damage, but Spirit Breaker, he's not really the high priority target for Laguna Blade. So I think this is a smart pickup, and also the timing is really key here. He has it at a time before the Laguna is upgraded, so he can now just go charging in and really wreak havoc on MVP Phoenix. I was a little skeptical about the amount of time he was spending in lane, but now it's all coming to light, and I think this is going to be a high-impact pickup.
Yeah, with now 2-1 towers down on MVP Phoenix. Oh, wait a second, that's going to be one Vengeful Spirit down. 4 people, though, needed to take him down.
Yeah, I think hoping for a little bit more there, but they just pop into the bench, and they'll also find a deny on the Tier 1 tower in the bottom lane there. Storm Spirit, he's looking for the Bloodstone, but still a little ways off. Doesn't have the recipe yet, 21 minutes in, unless it's coming on the courier right now, which of course it is.
But that is not the most fast Roshan I've ever seen, and apart from that, Rave knows that it's going on, so they're going to try to fight this. They have the Witch Structure Cask and Ultimate. I think that's the key right here. Charge in straight away, already up on March.
This is so
Yule's
risky.
Up, and now the Yules can't be used on Chrissy. That might be a good thing. EKB up on Ryer. He's going to try and go for it. In the meantime, Kyo tries to dig what he can. They are going to focus on Jo first, though. He's already down. That was a very painful play for him. Ryer trying to make his way out. While Chrissy comes in, has got the lightning, tanks the Laguna Blade, will be able to make it out alive though, or will he? Queen of Pain coming in still, has got a screen get stunned first, healed as well.
Oh, this Lash could clean house here, but he gets set up on by the Yules. Another swap back from Ninja Boogie. Chrissy getting low. He gets swapped right into QO and KP. It's MVP Phoenix coming out big in this fight. Ryo charging in forward. Everybody low health brings down the Disruptor, but they'll finish him off, and his mega kill streak ends as a 1-for-3 trade. MVP Phoenix rolling the dice, moving into the Roche pit there. I feel like that should have been Rave's fight.
I think so too.
The Juggernaut did not get off an Omni Slash.
I think that was the main, that was key.
That
he was
the
just
biggest, I think, yeah.
Bad positioning for him, I think. Either that or maybe not completely sure of when he was gonna try and use that. I mean, he could have.
I'd actually like to see an instant replay just to see where the jug was positioned. He just seemed like a non-factor in that fight.
Yeah.
And based on how low everyone was on MVP Phoenix, if he just had an Omni Slash at the end there to clean up,
and he is level,
that would have been it.
level 11, so he's like...
It's a lot of bounces.
That's a lot of bounces. I think that could have been... it should have been a fight going the way of Rave, considering positioning, considering the Yules wasn't used on Chrissy. Chrissy had a lot of extra freedom that he didn't have in any other fight before.
Yeah, I thought that initiation from the Spirit Breaker was perfect. You talked about the Yules, then he was able to get his BKB off. I think one mistake was trying to focus the Disruptor. That's who he used the Nether Strike on, but he had already gotten off the Static Storm and Kinetic Field, so even if you kill him, it's not the huge deal. I want to keep eyes on Jayo here. He's on the left side, kind of tangoing with QO. Looks like he
doesn't want to use an Omni Slash on the Disruptor, it seems, and then he gets Vortex, and by that it's too late. Once he gets Vortex,
all right, he gets Vortex into the Sonic Wave, so
but
it is
he could have used before. I think he could have just used it instantly on the Disruptor. Even like the Disruptor would have at least, easily died.
Are we going to see another fight the same here? Shiva, Roche very low as Ryo. BKB on, comes charging in. Marshall go down. This time the Omni Slash goes off. QO getting low, but barely lives. Sonic Wave on the backside, connects on 2. It's the Storm Spirit that falls second. It looks like this fight will be a lot better for Rave. Laguna brings down the Jug, but he's already used the ultimate, not your high-value target. Chrissy's still alive, finishes off Roche. It goes to the Dire, but the Aegis gets snatched by the Leshrac. Beautiful for Rave, one of the best Aegis carriers you can hope for. Ryo glimpsed back up onto the high ground. Oh no, the Space Cow. He's locked up top, but Febby getting low. It's Chrissy that's doing all the damage. QO here still alive, sipping up that bottle. Will try to zip away. Now the charge hits him. Stun from the Leshrac to follow up. QO is dead. Commits suicide, but still in the grave. Chrissy will walk away still with the Aegis in tow. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all. That was a fight that Rave was hoping for. Obviously, it's still 3-on-3, but I think they were a bit more organized that time. And with the Omni Slash, that just made the difference. That just made sure that, I mean, they didn't necessarily 100% win the fight, but they are the last one there. They get the Aegis, not the Roshan. I think the Aegis in this case is the most important one, but because now even if Chrissy gets ganked, if he gets focused down with the Yule Scepter and all the burst damage, then he will be able to come back alive, of course.
Yeah, getting the Aegis is huge here. Both teams have an amazing Aegis carrier. Storm on one side, Lesh on the other, and giving the Goatman a second life is definitely quite important. Now another Yule Scepter comes out on the Queen of Pain, another great tool to try and deal with the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, I think that is definitely key. But that's also why he's got that BKB, of course, already. Leshrac now also with his BKB, so that's the answer that he's going to give towards the Yule Scepter if he doesn't have an Aegis.
And I think the BKB here is partially for the Static Storm. The silence is what's really been locking down the Lesh in the fights where he's been picked off. So even though they still have damage that'll cut through it, he needs it just to have that ability to toggle on the Pulse Nova and do as much damage as he can before he falls to the burst.
So this game so far, we have had back and forth fights. Obviously the kill score shows that it's in favor of MVP right now. They are the ones constantly being the aggressor, although right now it looks like Rave wants to make a player on top lane with while they have that Aegis.
Yeah.
I think overall, in terms of game, I think it's still very even though. Of course, net worth shows that it's more in favor of MVP right now than in Rave. But the
not by too much though.
Yeah, difference is, I mean, that's ignorable.
Yeah. And this tower will help level things out a little bit. Ninja Boogie will be the one to grab the last hit, and they really want to fight off the backside of this Aegis, and it seems like the absolute right call.
What do you think a team needs to do before being able to get ahead? Because so far it's just been trades.
That's a good question. Aghanim's now comes out on the Lina, so they'll have a tool to cut through the BKB of Chrissy right as he picks it up. I think that's a really key timing to take note of. We'll have to hold that bout of analysis, though, as a fight will break out. BKB by Ryo, pops straight away, goes on to March. He still gets off the Tombstone, though. That's actually huge. They'll try to focus down, and they will kill it before too much damage comes. Great pick off there. MVP Phoenix not quite in position to defend. Double damage on the Storm Spirit, but will not keep that Tier 2 tower alive. So all of a sudden, Rave with a burst of momentum.
Yeah, 10-second BKB charge did get forced out, but I would say worth it. They took 2 towers off the back of that.
Did Lesh use his BKB?
Yes.
Okay.
But they took 2 towers off the back of the Aegis. They haven't even used it yet, and they can try maybe again if they want to. They can try. I would actually think that they might try to smoke up, depending on what they want Jo to be doing, because Jo is now just trying to farm a bit. He is seemingly the target of a gank from MVP who are moving into the Radiant jungle right now.
Yeah. They've got one more smoke left, and this is the last one they'll have for a little while here.
Yep.
And yeah, it looks like they've got one more on the Dire. Shadowblade, though, picked up on the Spirit Breaker, and this is another key pickup, a way to deal with those Yule Scepters, and will force MVP Phoenix into carrying around some detection, possibly to pick up a gem as well. becoming kind of a core item on the Spirit Breaker, actually. Used to see it every so often, but now feels rare to see a Spirit Breaker game where there isn't a Lothar's of some sort at some point. But there's that smoke rotation you were talking about.
Now let's take a look who they're gonna find, because looking at the map, I mean, if you run into to Q on his Storm, which is probably the closest by, not really gonna be a good target to gank. Queen of Pain also fairly close by. They need to have the charge and the Nether Strike on him, or her rather, if they want to make a play there. But it's gonna be tricky, and everybody of MVP is around, and I'm not sure if they will be able to kill off their target in time before the rest of MVP is in place to properly defend, and they are gonna try though.
All right, Lothar's scout things out. They go right onto the Queen of Pain. They've got plenty of lockdown. Deathward from the low ground doing good damage here. Laguna thrown out onto Ryo, but there's not enough follow-up to bring him down. Febby, he's in trouble now, gets stunned up. A fast 2 for nil. Make it 3 as the Jug finishes off the Undying. Omni Slash will make that one possible. MVP Phoenix not ready for that one, and they'll have to pay for it. Now QL hops in onto Ninja Boogie. Jo gets glimpsed back. NB might be able to live, actually. Ryo comes charging over the tree line. They've got the bash to follow up, and now the Storm Spirit's dead. A 4 for nil. Rave breaking this game wide open as they claim yet another tower. Lesh split pushing the bottom this whole time. They'll get the tier 2 mid. MVP Phoenix are in trouble here,
Yep.
Sheever. No buybacks.
Sorry for doubting you, Rave. Sorry for doubting you. I think actually the glimpse back, it was a glimpse back on the Juggernaut to free up space to try and kill off the Witch Doctor, or rather the Vengeful Spirit, but that was just...
This is
I don't know
they're
what-
going to get barracks off this.
They are, and they push so fast with Chrissy there with his Edict. It's
Oh my gosh.
no competition.
It feels like that Aegis of the Immortal is what really turned this game around. Before that, Rave were feeling a little bit cautious, but as soon as they had that confidence, they just cleared out like 5 towers in the span of 5 minutes.
Yeah, and with the Juggernaut moving forward, picking off his own target, that also made a big difference right there, making sure that he could actually help out. He had level 3. Oh,
That's a roller coaster I would not ride.
nope.
Nearly a 5-figure net worth lead here for Rave.
It depends on which way you're going, actually. Because you have to then start on the right side, then the roller coaster is actually pretty decent. Oh, Jo is in trouble right here. Doesn't have a TP. 40-second cooldown. There is a charge coming out on Kuo, and I think that Jo is going to be fine.
Just using that Spirit Breaker for a global scouting tool to see if he's going to pursue or back out. Lesh moving into the Octarine core, and this is a scary item pickup. I've been playing a lot of Lesh on this patch, and this is a game changer. Of course, the reduction in cooldown is nice, but the hero spell lifesteal is where it's at, and that's a way that you can deal with all this pure damage. Sure, Lesh will take damage with the BKB, but in these big team fights, he'll be able to heal up, and I worry that MVP Phoenix won't have the control to finish him off, as now a Silver Edge also comes out on the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, I love that item. A Queen of, or rather, up on Spirit Breaker against the Storm as well as the Lina. That's actually really good. And of course against the Undying as well, if he has his ultimate
The
up.
Flesh Golem, yeah, that's true. It's an okay Silver Edge game. It's a really good item on Spirit Breaker just in general. It gives him all those great stats.
No, he's not running.
Oh, Chrissy.
Oh, he chose his
BKB.
BKB on time though. Oh, he gets nuked down so hard. The Aghanim's on Febby doing loads of work, but it's gonna be still their track that
Can they turn this?
suicide. I'm not sure if they can turn this. They lose the Queen of Pain QO a bit, but Ryor, I don't think they
Oh,
can.
big death ward from Cass. Now Nuts in trouble. The Cass bouncing around Febby very low. Omni Slash finishes off March. Jo, he'll chase down Febby as well. It's about to be a triple kill for the Juggernaut. And before you know it, there's more dead on the dire side than the Radiant. There's only one left alive. The Queen of Pain looking to clean house, but Cass there with the Glimmer Cape will be just fine, and it's a 3-for-4 trade, but the Lesh did commit suicide.
They turn it around. Again, I doubt Rave, and I don't think they should have been able to turn around. That's the point. I think MVP was doing really well. At the same time, they used most of their nukes on the left track, of course, which made them a bit weaker in the fight itself.
KP coming back in onto Cast, and that's a little bit ambitious there with the Glimmer Cape.
Yeah, he teleports out.
Wow, the Jug getting so much out of that last fight, and we were worried about his farm before, but boy, is he recovered now. BKB, Sanjin Yasha, feeling pretty good. Orchid, now on the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, Roshan up in about 35 seconds, so that's going to be, I think, for Rave the key. If they can get the Aegis, they're going to just go just as ham as they did the last time. They're just going to push forward, find those fights, get those pushes in, and just go for the high ground. I think they can with an Aegis.
There's that Nectarine on old Leshrac. And that last fight would have been a lot different if he had been able to pick it up. He probably still would have died, but could have survived just a little bit longer, and it would have been a bit more one-sided. Up top, looks like fight could break out. Ryo was charging in. Geo actually takes the Orchid, will BKB off to make it out. No TP scroll, but they will not pursue.
Yeah, well, the Glimmer Cape's coming out from Rave as well. It's making it a lot more difficult for MVP to get their feet in the ground here. And I think for them to actually come back, because obviously right now the game is very much in favor of Rave. For MVP to come back into this game, they need to make sure that Roshan is not going to go the way of Rave.
Yes, absolutely. If they can get an Aegis on the Storm Spirit, that could be their ticket back into this game. It all comes down to initiation, though. When they were winning this game, it was when they were controlling the Lesh. Set up with the Yules, follow up from the Static Storm. It seems like since Rave have gotten this momentum, they haven't been able to utilize their combo quite right because it's Rave that have been the aggressors. Anytime you have that disruptor, as we've talked about, you want to be the ones that are taking the fight, being offensive, and when you're on the back foot, it's just a hero that can't play to the maximum of its potential.
Yeah, one of the reasons why Rave has been able to be aggressive is their warding. They actually ward very aggressive right now for MVP. No observer wards on the map whatsoever, so it's very risky. They are going to try to deal with this, though.
Chrissy with a double damage rune on MVP, starting to rotate down. We can get a bit of vision here as you see Rave know what's going on. March gets charged straight away. QO on the high ground. March does manage to get the tombstone down up on the cliff. A great placement there. Sonic Wave connects on quite a few, but Undying still the first to fall. QO bashed by Ryo off to the side. Cast, he'll just barely go down. Chrissy getting low as well. Looks like MVP Phoenix could possibly take this fight. They lose their Storm, but on the other side of it, they're cleaning things up. It's a 2-for-3 Juggernaut as well as Storm Spirit, or pardon me, Spirit Breaker on the run. Ryo, one tanky cow. He'll just BKB TP and makes it out. But MVP Phoenix repel the Roche and take a successful fight. Looks like they'll claim the Aegis for themselves, though. Jug still has an Omni Slash.
Well, I followed Jug that entire fight. I just wanted to see what Jay was doing, and he basically walked out of the pit, realized he had zombies on him, couldn't really get to anybody to Omni Slash because everybody was really far away. And positioning of MVP right second.
J.O.
Why would he do such a thing? He doesn't have a BKB for another 19 seconds, and that means he's gonna Omni Slash apparently. Can he actually get a kill? Yes, he can. Got the disruptor. Will get help as well from Ryo, or he will still end up going down, but at least made sure that two people went down with him.
Well, what seemed like a misplay turned out to be a pretty big play in the end. He stops the Roche for MVP Phoenix, has to throw his way as
that is worth it, though. That is absolutely worth it. Making sure that Roshan doesn't go in the way of MVP. As said, Ray with an MVP, they can make something happen. There's going to be...
Oh, I don't know if we want to look at a replay right now, but okay. Yeah, I think a fight's going to break out. They're going to charge March. Thank you, production. And looks like Roche getting very low. Chrissy drops a stun, but now QO goes onto the low ground and gets killed by the Dire, but again, snatched by the Leshrac. The plays, Sheever, the plays. The Storm Spirit dies, and now MVP Phoenix in trouble. Storm in the grave for a minute with no buyback available.
Again, Rave just plays it perfectly. They actually, basically what they're doing is they're playing MVP's game, and they're doing it better. They are also 5-manning, they're also pushing, they're also killing. That's exactly the type of game that MVP likes to play, but they're just getting outplayed in it.
Storm just barely gets enough gold gain for the buyback. Was right on the cusp, and now will burn it. Glyph has come out already. Defensive BKB used by Ryo. Chrissy in the front lines. Turns on the ultimate. Swap back by Ninja Boogie. Rave will disengage for now. It's a full 5-5, but the glimpse back on the cast. He's getting low. Static Storm in the middle of the fray. Jug will pop the BKB. No Omni Slash yet, but he'll just go and chop it. Fetty will fall, it looks like here. March getting very low. He'll actually be the first one to go. Laguna drops the Spirit Breaker, and they do get the kill on the Vengeful Spirit. Deny from the Lesh. Cheeky little play there, but it's going to be Rave on the back foot. Jug falls. Lesh still alive. This is a disaster.
This is the best way to deal with Chrissy. Basically, what they did to deal with Chrissy was not deal with him at all.
He still has the Aegis, though, and he gets that cleanup kill.
They just killed off his entire team around him, and then he's got no other option but to back off.
Yeah, the swap from Ninja Boogie, I felt almost too defensive there on the Lesh. It kept him alive, but pulled him out of the fight, and he's their big damage dealer that really needs to be in the front.
In a situation like that, you want him to be in the front.
Yeah, and he has the Aegis, so if he dies there, it's no big deal.
You swap him out afterwards if he gets back up online and after the Aegis gets used, and then swap him out then. But and he was in the middle of a split earth as well when he got swapped out.
Yep, Rave maybe not quite ready to take that one, given that the Jug's ultimate was still on cooldown. I think they need to position that Witch Doctor a little bit better. Swapping out the Lesh kind of put the Witch Doctor in an awkward position. Obviously, he was not able to use his Death Ward there, so That cost him.
That did cost him a lot. He was maybe also a bit too aggressively positioned, but I think the only reason that he was aggressively positioned is because of that swap. Because with swapping Chrissy to the back of the fight, it basically brought everybody of MVP closer towards those supports, towards Cast in this case, to make him an easy kill.
Yeah, 35 to 37 and only 38 minutes of gameplay. It has been a bloodbath here in game number 1, Shiver.
It really is, and I am still going back to Blitz's words saying, you know, this team, MVP Phoenix, like the fight, likes to go 5-man very early on, and Rave, I mean, in a way, they're getting baited into MVP's playstyle, but I don't think they mind one bit.
No, certainly not. Chrissy does have quite a bit of gold in the bank. I'll be curious to see what he invests in next, but it's the Queen of Pain that has the most recent big pickup, and that's the Scythe of Vice that she was just able to fashion there at the secret shop. No buyback available for the Queen of Pain here, and Rave really want to make the most out of this Aegis. They should have at least a minute or so left on it. Yep, there it is, 2 minutes left.
They're going to go again.
Yeah,
Why
I
not?
think they should. There's no glyph, so they can win a fight here. This could be the end of the game. Tier 3 tower falls straight away.
Good gaming.
Yeah, it doesn't cost Rave too much. Chrissy, stunned up, but alive for now.
Yeah, still has BKBs. Oh, 3-man split Earth, no problem for Chrissy.
He takes an Orchid, but that's okay. I think he'll take that trade every day of the week.
He gets glimpsed back, turns on his BKB to make sure he doesn't get glimpsed at all. And it looks like MVP thinking about moving out, but Rave just making sure, like, okay, if you want to fight us, come out entirely out of your base and then we'll fight you.
Okay,
Another split Earth coming.
The Tombstone comes down. They could possibly try to wait it out. Without a Tombstone, I think they can take this easily. Soon to expire. Chrissy taking some big damage here.
Ooh.
Another very defensive swap. I think they can really afford to put Chrissy in a more aggressive position.
Yeah, he instantly walked back. Gets split Earth up on Chris, up on Sebi now. Oh, that's going to be the Aegis gone soon.
Yeah, Glimmer Cape not enough to save him there. Jo, he used his Omni Slash on nothing. Oh my gosh, the Death Ward doing some decent damage here, but Cast will get interrupted by the ultimate from the Disruptor. QO now bashed up, will barely live. Melina buys back straight away also, and it looks like Rave may get repelled out of the base. MVP Phoenix with 5 alive, and Jug dead without a buyback.
And that's another BKB used. I think that's actually really good that he has such low BKB charges, because he just used it twice in the fight, both on the glimpse.
Long range zip out from QO.
Looking for a target. I don't think he's going to find any.
Not going to find one. Rave played that very, very strange, where it was very aggressive at the beginning, and then they backed out to wait for the Tombstone. I think the Juggernaut just has to be more on point with the Omni Slash. It's such a key part of their damage, and
again, the swap was too early, because instantly after Chrissy got swapped, he just walked right back in saying, like, you know, I wasn't done.
Yeah.
I wasn't finished. I need to be in here. I need to actually be able to get my split Earth off. He got it off as well. I think indeed the Juggernaut getting his ulti off on nothing was a bigger deal though.
All right, so some interesting items to talk about here, Shiver. We've got a Lotus Orb in production for Ryo. Lesh goes into a Shiva's Guard. I think a great item pickup here. Gives him some much-needed armor and some extra damage and utility. MVP Phoenix did lose their Tier 4 tower in that last fight, though. So this bottom lane of barracks that Rave were able to secure earlier is making this game a lot more even. I think if they didn't have that lane of barracks, things would be looking a lot better for the Dire side.
Yes.
I have high hopes for this Lotus Orb, though. What a fun item.
You're going to put it on Leshrac, I think?
I would imagine so, yeah.
Or on yourself if you're going to charge it.
Yeah, depends on the positioning of the fight and how it breaks out, but yeah.
If you're putting it on yourself while you're charging in, you can't get used. Well, you can get used, but then you'll also use the other person.
Laguna, the big one to keep an eye out for to return towards the Lina. If they can manage to Lotus that, that would be massive. But now the gem for the Dire side, so all these Glimmer Capes, the Silver Edge on the Spirit Breaker will be a little bit less effective.
Spells, there's not that many, like targeted spells.
So I feel like it has to be for, well, Yule's is a good one, but really the Laguna is that huge spell that you can reflect here.
Orchid,
yeah.
That would actually be a pretty big one.
Hex is the other big one, mostly for items, I suppose.
Yes, I think so too. Still an interesting item to see picked up. We don't see it that often, for the reason that you obviously can see who it's on, and you can just not cast any spells for the duration of
Yeah,
when
it's
on.
it's a great item once you get to this stage of the game. It's sort of funky in terms of who's going to buy it, because it's very expensive. It obviously has a great effect that can turn a game around, but a pricey item with lackluster stats. So often supports don't have the economy to buy it, and this is kind of a unique situation where the Spirit Breaker is farming exceptionally fast.
Yeah, and of course, right now MVP hasn't seen yet that there's a Lotus Orb, and I think that first usage is going to be the most important one. Oh, they're going to put it up on Ryer. He's going to jump in first. Let's see if he gets focused by anything. Doesn't look like it, though. Omni Slash already undying out of the way. Charge up until the top lane Disruptor getting focused for that one. In the meantime, the rest of the fight's focusing on Kyo as well as Queen of Pain, and they just get blown up by the Witch Doctor on the ultimate.
That seemed rather abrupt. The Queen of Pain and the Storm Spirit just evaporated.
Look at the health bars of Rave. They didn't take any damage.
It was the basher on the jug. He picked it up right before that fight began. I think he got a bash on at least one of them before they could escape at the end and just completely turned that around. Quap does have a buyback, but Storm will be in the grave for the better part of a minute here.
What did Chrissy pick up that he got a cloak? Ah, he got the gem. That's what.
Oh, yeah, Undying was carrying it. It's a really big kickoff. Cliff will come out straight away. Easy lane of mid barracks, and for MVP, this is Hail Mary time.
The tier 4 tower is already dead on one side, so
I think they just go for the win.
Yeah, they are.
Storm would have bought back by now if he has it. And I think Rave will just gamble on he will be stuck dead.
Yep. Rave doesn't do anything, it just tickles Jay. Well, that does a bit more than tickling, but he's still fine. He's still just hitting. Got the first hit back again up on that Queen of Pain.
Boy, the Bash Bar are in town tonight, Shiver.
Yeah, definitely is. Febby uses himself up. Let's see if he can make something happen. Stunned up by Ninja Boogie. Febby, ooh, Glimmer Cape keeps him safe for the moment. Charging coming. I hear one anyways.
Storm's back up. They haven't focused on the throne. They could possibly stay alive here. Ninja Boogie using that Glimmer. Hey, but Kyo just gets turned around on stunned and brought down. Ryo will TP home. He makes it out safely. And MVP Phoenix say, we've had enough. 2 of our cores are dead without buyback, and there's no way we can turn this one around. GG, well played. Rave take the victory, but what a bloodbath to get things kicked off.
Yeah, that game, I mean, it was so even for such a very long time. That Roche fight, that first one, that allowed Chrissy to get the Aegis snatched, obviously, and then get 2 towers off the back of that. It was just fighting overall.
It was 2 outer towers, and then they got the tier 3 as well as the barracks off that whole Aegis push. So that was really the game changer, and after that, it felt like Rave just sort of took over.